Hello everyone, N7 here, and the First Descendant YouTube channel just uploaded their GDC Game Developer Conference video that they did presentation-wise, which happened back in March. So definitely check that out. It's in the description of this video, and here's my live reaction to watching it.
안녕하세요, 여러분.
Hi everyone,
반갑습니다.
great to see you all.
이렇게 GDC에서 발표를 하게 돼서
I'm
기대도
presenting
되고
at
상당히
the
긴장도
GDC.
되네요.
I'm so excited to be here,
오늘은
but
라이브
also
서비스
got a
중인
little bit of
퍼스트
butterflies in my
디센던트가
stomach.
겪었던
Today my talk will be about our live service game, The First
그리고
Descendant,
극복의 과정에 대해서
focusing on its
발표하고자
challenges,
합니다.
lessons learned, and the journey of perseverance.
먼저 제 소개부터
Let me first
드릴 텐데요.
introduce myself.
저는 넥슨 게임즈
My name is
매그넘
Bong Lee
스튜디오에서
at Nexon
퍼스트
Games Magnum
디센던트 개발을
Studio.
총괄한
I led the
이범준이라고
development
합니다.
of The First Descendant or
슬라이드
TFD.
사진에서 저
On
오른쪽
the right side of the screen
있는 사람이 저고요.
is me.
그리고 저 장면은 저와
25 years of experience. That's actually pretty impressive.
That live streams
장면이에요.
with our creative director.
라이브 스트림에서 통역을 해주시는
And the
성우님께서
interpreter of the live stream is Sun Kyung-sung.
하셔서
He's also here
통역
today
해주실
doing
네,
her
잘
usual
부탁드리겠습니다.
job.
We love our interpreter.
본격적으로 시작하기 전에
Before we
퍼스트
jump right
디센던트에 대해서 간단하게 소개를
Here's a quick
드리고자 합니다.
overview of the
퍼스트
TFD.
디센던트는
TFD
프리투플레이
is a
기반의
free-to-play online looter shooter
게임이고요. 넥슨 산하의 넥슨
developed
게임즈에서
by Nexon Games under
개발하고
Nexon Corp
작년
and released
2024년
on
7월
July
2일에
2nd last year across Steam, PlayStation,
엑스박스로 전 세계에
and
출시가 되었습니다.
Xbox worldwide.
We're almost about to hit a year, chat.
출시 당시
At launch,
퍼스트
the
디센던트는
media
보시는 것처럼 매체들로부터 상당히 낮은
reception
평가를
of TFD
받았고요.
was quite hurtful.
메타스코어
As you can
57점이라는
see, our Metascore set at a humble
점수를
57.
그런 낮은 점수에도 불구하고
However, commercially,
상업적으로는 높은 성과를
it
거두게
was a
되면서 많은 관심을
I'm pausing real quick. Yeah, it was not well received, unfortunately. And so it doesn't lie there, but this was interesting. I never saw this part of this. So EA Sports College Football was #1, and this is top grossing PC console games, France, Germany. So in the UK, sports, Fortnite was second, EA Soccer, I can't remember, FC, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and then the First Descent was 5th. That's pretty nice.
받았습니다.
getting lots of
특히
attention.
출시 첫 달
In just the
총매출만
first
1억
month,
달러를 상회하는
TFD pulled in over $100 million in sales.
덕분에 북미 유럽 권역에서는
Thanks to that, in North America
콘솔
and
게임을
Europe,
합산한
among the
매출
top
순위에서
grossing
5위라는
PC and
높은
console
순위를
games,
달성하기도 했습니다.
it ranked 5th, which is impressive.
하지만 첫 달에 1,000만 명에
However,
달하는
the problem was
유저분들이
the
들어오시면서
influx of more than 10 million users.
So this post is these devs are actually based as hell. Why can't the whole gaming industry be more like this? Transparency and actually listening to community feedback and acting upon a reasonable timeline is something that's absolutely lacking from the other companies. I did not expect this from Nexon. Yeah, especially with the games before. Maple Story, I believe, it was not a good look for Nexon, but I think they're doing a good job right now.
Within just the first month.
심하면 하루에도
Gaming in
2-3번씩
packages
핫픽스를
popped up every day.
해야 할
Sometimes we
정도였어요.
had to do 2 or 3 hotfixes in a single day.
개발팀은 최선을 다해서 대응을 했고
The devs gave it their all.
이런 과정에 대해서 유저 커뮤니티에 되게 솔직하고
We
투명하게
kept it honest and transparent with
소통하려고
users.
노력을 했습니다. 그리고
We put a lot of
현실에
efforts
대해서
with the user
좋은
communities
평가를
and
받기도
they
했어요.
appreciate it.
참고 이미지 중에 하나는
You can
레딧에
see on
당시에
the
올라왔던
image is from
유저분들의
Reddit.
의견이었어요.
It's one of the opinion from the Reddit user.
하지만 그걸로는 충분하지
But
못했고요.
unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
지금 보시는 이
As
그래프는 출시
The number of players during the first month. Yep. So on July 2nd, that was when release day was there. Then it spiked on the 3rd, right here, and then it just, as you can see, it's been slowly declining.
You can see on the graph,
Got a little bit of a spike, but
접속 유저
this is just 1 month after launch, the number of active
출시 한 달
users,
후에
as
접속
you can
유저의
see,
숫자가 절반 이하로
In just
떨어지고
1 month
말았습니다.
after, the active user had dropped by more than half.
네, 대량의 유저가 유입되면서 많은
The
피드백들이
early
Lots of feedback right after launch. Major issues among them were lack of content volume. Yeah, I would agree with that. Balancing problems, stable and technical issues. Yes.
users
되었는데요.
gave us tons of
그중에서도
feedback.
가장 온도가 높았던
The
것들을
most common
꼽자면 바로
complaints
컨텐츠
were
부족,
about lack of
밸런스에
content
관련된 이슈,
and
그리고
issues
안정성 및
related to
최적화에
balance,
대한 이슈들이었습니다.
stability, and optimization.
근데 문제는 이러한 세 가지 주요 이슈들은
But
다들
the
잘
problem is
아시겠지만
that,
단시간에 대응할
as
수
you
있는
may
성질의
know
것은
already,
아니었습니다.
those aren't exactly quick fixes.
콘텐츠 부족 같은 경우에도 그렇고 밸런스
Not only
문제도
the
So this post is the reason why I'm not currently playing the first Descendant. It's just a short list of what I would say reasonable reasons why I'm not pulling more time into the game. No real in-game loop or mechanics that I'm aware of. Yeah, I do remember having a lot of people coming into my streams talking about that. It would be nice if a map where bosses and colossus would spawn in vet players to farm enough in-game loot resources. I doubt anyone who would spend their life in the same dungeon key, the same boss over and over to get what they want. A zone that drops in-game parts and stuff dynamically would make much more engaging and less mind numbing. That's a fair assessment right there. So I'm not, it's not a bad thing. And again, I had a lot of people coming in saying that as well. So yeah. And then the other one is I'm not farming anything. The character balancing is off in the charts, not even close. Apparently, this deleted user, it said, all right, since the server blocked my message, does not want to monitor the server's time at all, anytime, and whatever. He said after that, it's true that the servers are unstable because I cannot move maps sometimes, but the lag is possibly a problem with their optimization in your PC. Yes, that was another thing that people came in.
content, the lack of content, but also combat balances.
검토의
We
시간을
needed some time
가지고 대응을 해야
to
했는데
revise and test.
당시 이제 라이브가 굉장히 과열된 상태였기
But since we
때문에
were running a heated live service,
되게 빠르게
which it was a
하려고 했고,
luxury
그러다
that we
보니
couldn't really afford.
대응을 하는 경우도 많았습니다. 그리고 뭐 아시는 것처럼
As you
안정성과
may know, as
최적화
for
이슈도
stability and optimization,
지역도 워낙에 다양하고
since we were
플랫폼도 다양하다
supporting
보니까
multiple regions
이거를
and
끌어대응하는
platforms,
게 굉장히 쉽지 않았습니다.
effectively.
I'm just happy that they're willing to fight for this game and all that, even with all this.
상황에서 8주간의 프리시즌이 끝나고
Failure of season 1 should have been a turnover.
Pre-season came to an end, followed by our first major
시즌 1을
update,
통해서
season 1.
다시 반등을 하기를 기대했지만
We were
시즌 1
hoping
업데이트는 기대에 미치지 못하고
to see a
말았습니다.
rebound, but that didn't exactly happen. The graph on the screen is from SteamDB,
스팀의 동접자 추이 그래프인데요.
showing the volume of concurrent users. If you look at the season 1 marker, the line bumped up just a teeny tiny bit, but it dropped right back to where it was before the update.
네. 그렇다면 당연히
Oh, so they figured out reasons for server 1 failure. Lack of dev resources. Almost all development resources were allocated to solving live service problems. Yeah, like making sure that hotfixes were being sent out for like consoles and all that. Low content polish due to focusing on launch preparation could not keep up season 1 content quality. Also, S1 failed to align with the adjustment in live direction, which changed. Yeah, I do remember they had to pivot a few times for their content they wanted. Yeah. Then split updates. What was intended content update even every month. Users actually thought 1 of 3 was split update each month. I do remember that.
You know, we had to analyze what was the problem.
시즌 1이 실패했다는 이유는 무엇일까?
So what went
생각해보면
exactly wrong with season 1? I can probably name a few,
기본적으로는 시즌 1의 컨텐츠 준비는 사실은 당연히
but
출시
first,
전부터
since the content development for season 1 started before the launch,
변화에 대해서
so
사실은
we
제대로
really couldn't
반영하지
adapt to the
못했습니다.
fast-changing live
그리고
environment.
앞서 얘기드린 것처럼
Mhm.
뷰어스가 이제
Well, again, it's
As
just a
users,
building and
그걸 대응하는 데에
more than
growing pains, I guess.
users were playing
시즌 1
TFT,
준비가 충분히 이루어지지
required a lot of costs,
못했다고 말씀드릴 수
so we
있겠습니다.
couldn't really prepare enough for season 1
매달
update.
정기적으로 콘텐츠를 업데이트하는 게 라이브를 위한 더 좋을 거라고 저희들이 생각을
We
하긴 했는데
thought that monthly content updates seemed like a good idea,
유저분들 입장에서는 억지로
but to users,
협의해서 업데이트한 거에 가깝다고
it was like we were splitting one big feast into tiny appetizers. We just wanted to do the continuous updates, but it didn't really receive. It wasn't really received that way. So the negative sentiment was growing from the community. I had to apologize to the user community. We had to adjust our update schedule. That was our response.
So after taking their season 1 feedback and their assessment of its changes in approach for season 2, effort to avoid repeating season 1 failure, listen to user feedback, which they have been, but again, they were a small dev company compared to now, because they've been adding artists and all that. So it sounded like they were on the small side back in season 1, but now with season 2, they had a bigger dev team. So yeah, listen to user feedback, strengthening communication, refining live issues, solving progress, data-driven analysis, the FGT, I don't know what that stands for. Security and content development capabilities, process improvements, resources allocations. Yeah.
So while struggling with season 1, we spent a lot of time thinking about what to do moving forward. And the first solution we found was to engage more with our users. We have been already communicating with the users, but
Ask me anything for those who don't know what AMA stands for in Discord by GPT.
So first, through Discord AMAs, we started our efforts. Since we're running the game with the global users, it wasn't really easy for us to answer to the questions in person. You can see that by GPT, I was typing in Korean, using the GPT. Being our director answered to the user questions. Even after hours or during weekends, since users gave us tons of feedback, we had to respond, soaking in live trends.
Changes to in-game store policies after season 2 update. All common skins will be shareable. Yeah, I do remember that. There was a lot of positive from that. Because once in a while, your descendants can equip the skins to use. Refund caliber and paint spin for additional purchase of common skins. Yeah, that was a big W for them as well. They didn't really have to do that. Just pretty much in general, devs don't have to do refunds for stuff and all that. So just want to say that this is a blanket statement for the gaming industry in general. I would say that when a game does a refund and all that, that's pretty good on their part. So
that feedback, we made tangible changes. So one of them was the store policies. Though it's directly related to sales, we revised our in-game store policies. In fact, we had to refund nearly $1 million worth of in-game currency.
But again, they didn't have to do that, but they did it anyway.
Something far more valuable. At the heart of our efforts lies the Dev Live. Though TFT was developed in Korea, half the user base comes from North America and the other half is from Europe, Asia, and pretty much all over the world. It's running a live stream with language barriers. Takes a lot of challenge. I'm not a bilingual person, so there were so many worries for me. So with the help of real-time interpreters, the dev team stepped in front of the cameras, introducing updates and hosting live Q&As.
And I enjoyed these live Q&A, live stuff. It's been really fun.
So showing our commitment to the community, our very first Dev Live is the one that you can see on the screen. There is a red box It lasted for a whopping 4 hours.
의견을 다
Soaked in the feedback from the user community.
하고 이제 각오를 하고 했어요. 네.
We had a strong
그리고 이날은,
commitment.
네, 일요일이었습니다.
And on a Sunday, of course, because why not?
너무 가혹하지 않습니까?
It's a little bit harsh for the dev team, I'd say.
Hmm.
아, 이거 유머 포인트는
That was a joke.
네, 네.
Oh wow, so change of user response. Okay, so all this is cool. For season 1, it was going up and then down. But then with weekly stream positive ratio, season 2, because of the dev streams and just their new changes and all, look at the user response. Oh, that's so cool.
이렇게 해서 시즌 2 업데이트에
So stronger communication start going up.
New season
There you go. Look at that.
As such,
소통을 하면서 되게
we
놀라운 일이
poured our
일어나고
hearts into
있었는데,
it and actively listened to the
이거는
feedback.
이제 스팀의 유저 평가.
This is the Steam user review,
스팀의 주간 유저 평가 추이가 보시는
and
것처럼
Steam's
시즌 1 때
cumulative weekly user review trend.
하락이라고 했습니다. 하락을 하고
It showed a little deep
네,
down during the season 1, and
적극적인 소통을
which just
개시한
plateaued.
시점에서부터 평가가
But with our strong user engagement,
상승한 거를 보실 수 있습니다.
it
네.
skyrocketed.
그래서 물론 이제 아직 갈 길이 멀지만 그래도 저희들의
Of
이런
course, still
노력이
early to throw a party, but this was a sign that our efforts did not go in vain, which was a relief.
Yep.
그래서 시즌 2는 이렇게
As such, Season 2 updates required multidimensional approaches.
Hmm.
So this is the image of the Season 2 content.
이제 유저 피드백을 기반으로 해서 새로운
Based on the
콘텐츠뿐만
user
아니라 편의성
Comment and
네.
feedback.
그리고
Various QoL improvements were introduced.
다시 돌아오게 하기 위해서
For the user return, we showed a real commitment.
이제 강한 보상을
We
지급하는
hosted
이벤트.
user events with huge rewards at the expense of sales
오른쪽
performance.
이미지에서 끝에 있는 캐릭터가 이제 저희 제일 유명한
So the last,
팀이권이죠.
when you can see Ultimate Bunny on the screen,
이벤트 보상으로 무료로 지급을 하는
we gave Ultimate Bunny for free as an event reward, which was a huge reward outside.
네.
We wanted to see the users returning to our game.
So season 2 performance compared to season 1, DAU, which is daily active users, 92 for increase compared to what before update. Oh, that's cool. So 92% increase. Oh, love to see that. Return active user rate, a 20% increase. D plus 14 retention, 18.8 increase compared to season 1, 20.1 increase in AU compared to season 1. PlayStation 5 crash rate around 5%, near 1%. Oh, that's so cool. This type of data I enjoy looking at. It's really cool that they're sharing this with us.
In the end, hard work paid off. Season 2 met our expectations. DAU,
정전과 비교해서 약
A 92.4% increase. That is a huge W for them. I hope they are feeling happy about that.
users against that of Season 1 grew by 20%.
사실 가장 중요한 지표라고 할 수 있는
For
이제 리텐션 같은 경우는
all the important
14의 리텐션 같은 경우는
D plus 14 retention,
복귀 유저의 경우에는 약 18.8% 정도가 증가를 했고
it increased
AU 같은 경우는
by 18.8% in returning users and 20.1% increase in AUs.
그리고 안정성 측면에 대해서도 좀 개선이 있었는데요.
And for the stabilization,
플레이스테이션
stability of the game,
크래시 레이트 같은 거를 저희들이 다 리포트를 받아요.
there has been crash rates report that we've been receiving on PS5. We could track
이게 약간 이거는 어떻게 보면
the crash rate trends.
하지만 5%라는 살짝 높은 수치를
To
유지하고 있다가
self-critic,
최근에는 상당히 개선돼서
it was 5%, but it went down recently to 1%. We improved significantly in terms of crash rates.
Now, my big question is, how's Xbox doing? Unfortunately, Xbox is struggling, but still, I'm not dissing this PlayStation crash rate. That's a huge improvement. I'm just curious about the Xbox too.
네, 그리고 3월 13일 지난주
And just last week on March 13th,
시즌 2 에피소드 2 업데이트
we
같은
dropped
경우에는
Season 2 Episode 2.
그 지금까지 업데이트 중에 가장
Of all TFT's updates so far,
평을
It's
개인적으로도
earning the highest player satisfaction.
할 수가 있었어요.
I personally received those positive feedback,
이 부분에 대해서 이제 조금
and
더
also I
설명을
review the community
에피소드 2 같은
feedback as
경우는
well. To add a little bit on to this point,
라이브 동향과
since launch, we've
받아서
been
개발을 시작한 첫 업데이트라고
you can say that this is the first update that we carried out after, based on the accumulated feedback.
열심히 연구해서
We did a research on accumulated feedback since launch.
그 부분을
We wanted to reflect this feedback onto our narrative, and I think that's why users have very positively received those updates, these updates.
방도롭게 파악을 하고 열심히 반영을 하면 확실히 효과가
So
있구나
we learned that we can
라는 점을 배우게 되었습니다.
strongly engage with our users.
The need for fundamental change, small taste of success through season 2, which I'm glad they're taking those in stride. But fundamental problems still remain: lack of content, satisfaction and content quality, larger and more fundamental changes is needed. But yeah, I mean, like, but they was cool is that they took. I think it was very hard for them to take that
We can actually
feedback
make
from
improvement
season
in our
1,
updates as well, update quality wise.
but it shows that they're listening and doing stuff.
To accomplish what it set out to do,
이제 겨우 한숨을 돌렸다라고
but
말씀을 드릴 수 있을 것 같아요.
you can say that we finally took a little breather.
여전히 콘텐츠의 부족, 그리고 콘텐츠의
But the problem of quantity and quality of content, which is a fundamental issue,
이를 해소하기
they
위해서
were still there.
근본적인
I realized more fundamental changes were needed.
그래서 새로운 디렉션을 팀에
That's why we decided to switch things up within the team.
먼저 이 3개월
Okay, so new direction, season update, direction change, prep for longer periods, not just 3-month period to secure quality and volume. What to be season 3, change to season 2, episode 2. Yep. Increase by large scale recruitment. Yep. As I mentioned earlier, that they have been growing their team. Increased by 50% to secure development resources, continuous and periodic releases of customizable products, i.e. skins. And then the end of support of previous gen consoles. A development efficiency by end support of previous gen console support is scheduled to end June 19th. So again, for those who just came to this video, and thank you for watching. If you're on like the that previous gen consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, they will be stopping development for those on June 19th. For those,
3개월 단위로 기계적으로
Instead of sticking to the usual 3-month seasonal update cycle, we chose to take a longer turn. It's not for anything else. We just wanted to focus on user satisfaction that required longer time. If we just do the updates for the update sake, we couldn't really achieve that. That's why we decided to make that decision. And that's why we announced that we're going to do the mega update next summer.
그래서 그 다음으로 한 의사결정은 이러한 업데이트 볼륨과
And in order to support such update volume
퀄리티를
and the quality,
위해서 대규모 충원을
we
하기로 결정을 했습니다.
grown the dev team
그래서 지금
significantly. In order to name some numbers,
당시 대비에 비해서
since launch,
50% 정도가 인원 증가.
we've grown the dev team by 50%.
단기간에 증원을 했기 때문에 아직
It happened all within such a short period of time.
말씀을 드릴 수는 없겠지만
We can't really say that we're seeing significant update
유저분들이 많이 좋아하시는
changes thanks to such growth in the dev team,
업데이트가
but
굉장히
I think it's allowing us to constantly roll out popular items like skins and cosmetics.
네, 그리고 또 하나는 이제 최근에 제가 이제 공지를 하고 상당히
And recently I made another announcement and it received a lot of attention. We made another decision.
중단하자.
PS4, Xbox One and other older gen consoles won't be supported soon.
당연히 리스크가 있는 분이고
I know that we're taking some risks. I know that there are people enjoying our game using old gen consoles. It was not an easy decision.
누군가 저에게 뭐 요청을 해서 했다라기보다
It's not someone requested
전체적인 선택과 집중을
us to do so, but We just wanted to
저게 필요하겠다.
shift our dev resources on urgent priorities.
동시에 여러 플랫폼을
If we
동시 진행해야 되는데 그러면 이제
are to do the live updates on multiple platforms when we do the QA or patches, dev team had to
그런 문제를
deal with a lot of burden.
조금 불안을 개발팀의 그런 부담을 낮추고
We wanted
문제와
to
양을 올리는데
relieve
자원을
some burden from the dev team. We wanted to focus on priorities. That was a hard decision that we had to make.
네.
I personally feel that change from I know a lot of my viewers were very mad and sad about it because they were a lot of older gen console players. But I back the devs choice in that regard because I feel that I hate to say it, the older they said like it was hard for dev teams to sort of backtrack and make sure that those were working. But I feel if they don't have that issue and work trying to put those resources into the older consoles, they can actually focus on the newer gen consoles and actually move forward and be able to focus a little bit better. So it's hard to say that, but I think they did a good move, and I'm not saying it's a bad idea what they did.
그래서 이거는 이제 오늘 저희 발표에서 처음으로
So this is the
공개되는
thing that we
내용인데,
are announcing for the first
그래서
time
이러한 의사결정을
through this
기반으로
presentation.
해서
Based on
시즌
such
3를
decisions,
메가 업데이트로 준비를 하고 있습니다.
TFT Season
퍼스트
3 will be a
디센던트
mega
시즌
update.
3의 제목은
The first Descendant Season 3 will be named Breakthrough.
새로운 전점을
Season
It will
3
serve as another
breakthrough.
turning point
Okay.
for us.
And it's also going to be their it's going to be their 1 year anniversary, so I think they're trying to get this with a big huge bang, which I personally think they are going to.
이 브레이크스루에 들어갈 신규 컨텐츠를 좀
So the main
소개해드리려고
content
하는데요.
of Season 3, I'd like to introduce some of them. The core content will be a massive new field called Axion. Axion will feature a whole new monster faction and special monsters,
So we'll have a whole new faction. Okay, cool.
offering a gameplay experience like never before. To match the scale of this new area, we're adding vehicles to the game.
그리고 뿐만 아니라 많은 분들이 기대하셨던 부분인데
And I know that many have been waiting for this feature.
기존에 있던 게 아니라 이제
There'll
새롭게
be a
시작한
whole new Colossus,
필드에 살 수 있게 됩니다.
and it'll be player will be able to play against Colossus in the field.
필드에서
Colossus battles were limited to separate instances so far, but will now be available in the fields.
그리고 이외에도 이제 새로운
That's not all.
피처인데요.
There's a new feature
전시하고
so that players can showcase their collections. There will be a lounge space introduced to the game.
그리고 이 슬라이드에는
What's cool about this lounge is because in the past dev streams, people are asking, can we have like a community space that we can share and stuff? They're like, we're not doing that quite yet. We don't have enough resources and all that. So it's cool that they were able to be able to dedicate time and resources to make this possible. So that's going to be nice.
It's not included in the slide.
다른 다양한 IP들하고 콜라보도 지금 진행하고
We're
있고요. 준비하고
trying
있고,
to do the collaborations with
여러
other
개의
IPs.
같이 준비를 하고 있습니다. 그래서 또 다음에 좀
Not only one, but many collaborations.
그리고
I hope that
Yeah, they have hinted that they have about collaborations because that's one thing that community's been asking about. And I'm glad the last dev stream, they sort of hinted that there's already stuff in the works already. So it's really cool that they are still pushing through for that.
there can be an opportunity for me to introduce in detail about them, and there'll be long-awaited new weapon.
이렇게
A new weapon they mentioned too.
So,
All right.
massive field vehicle,
그리고 라운지
Colossus field battles, lounge,
로망 무기
and a
콜라보까지
new
해서
weapon alongside collaborations with other IPs.
라이브
I feel that new weapon is going to be melee weapon. But we'll see if I'm true on that when July rolls around.
업데이트에서 보여드리지 않았던
There'll be a whole new content that TFT has never offered before. We are working on the development of such content.
조금씩
Once we're ready, we will release more and more information regarding this new updates.
네, 그래서 올해 7월 퍼스트 디센던트
So
7월입니다. 네, 7월이부터
this July, starting with the July,
것 같은데 네, 올해 7월 퍼스트 디센던트의
I think this is also the first time I mentioned that it's going to happen in July.
더욱 규모가
So
많고
with this July mega update, Season 3 breakthrough, TFD will continue delivering large-scale, satisfying updates.
네, 부탁드리겠습니다.
We ask for your continuous love and support.
감사합니다.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, that is the video. Again, if you want to see the full thing without me talking, definitely check the description and watch it for yourself. Comment down below what your thoughts are, and it's going to be fun. Again, I personally feel that it was not easy for them to share those infographic like of the preseason, season 1, the drops, but yeah, I mean, if they keep on going, I feel that they will be moving up in their stats and all that, so it's pretty cool to see. I'm looking forward to seeing season 3. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.